great software is an essential part of every modern agency. Without it, you'll spend hours doing what your competitors can do in just minutes. But with so many thousands of options out there, it's so hard to know where to invest your time and how to avoid wasting money in those crucial early stages. So in today's video, I'm going to be running through some of the best tools that we're currently using in our 7-figure agency to maximize productivity, generate thousands of leads in a matter of seconds, and manage our entire sales process, among a bunch of other things. So let's get straight into this now. So I'm going to be running through these tools in chronological order of running an agency. Some of them will be luxuries, other will be necessities, and I'll run through that as we proceed. But we're going to start off with Notion, which is a necessity when you are first starting out. There's a free version. It is an all-in-one project management tool, and we literally use this for absolutely everything in our agency. In fact, instead of me showing you the landing page, I'm going to show you our project management tool. So this is the Affluent.co agency management system built out on Notion, and you can see we have literally every process that we've built in the agency over the past 6 years documented on here. These are all individual Notion pages. Looking a little bit messy at the moment, needs a bit of a cleanup, but you get the idea. This is gathering client testimonials. This is an SOP, which is a standard operating procedure. When you create a process in your agency, document it, so when you hire team members, you can send this to them and they can learn that process very easily. So these are all the interview questions we ask a client when we get them great results, and some of the assets that we want to gather from them, for example. We use Notion for individual team to-do lists. We use it for managing client finances. We use it for managing our existing clients and our onboarding processes, for tracking our sales data, etc. Okay, so it's really limitless what you can do on Notion. It's like an open source text-based editor, but also it's got a whole bunch of other functionality. You can create individual pages, you can add tables, okay, you can add formulas like on Excel, you can add images, videos, audio, code, etc. Okay, now don't be intimidated by this if you are a beginner. Okay, when you're just starting out, it's not going to look anything like this. You're going to create something a lot simpler, but it's very important in the early stages of your agency that you are documenting processes as you create them. You need a place to store all of the important information within your agency, and Notion and a dashboard is where you can do that best. I'm actually going to show you a template that I created that you can try and replicate for yourselves when you're first starting out. So this is a management system template that I created for our private community in the Affluent Academy. I'm going to give you an idea of all the things that you want to have included, but unfortunately I can't send you a link. On the left-hand side, we've got the productivity. So we've got different buckets. These are all individual tasks that you're working on at the moment, so you can keep on top of all of your early stage tasks. We've got client management, so a list of all of your active clients at the moment, your onboarding process, media assets, any advertising reports that you've created, and any meeting notes. And then we have other things like operationally, like your brand assets, your vision and your mission, your financial tracker, your team directory, etc. But most importantly, in the early stages, you're going to be using Notion as a sales management tool. Okay, so we have your lead sheet here, which is a list of all of your leads. You can use Google Sheets for this, but it's nice to have it on Notion. And your sales performance, which is your data, so any calls that you're attending, your emails, your DMs, follow-ups, new meetings booked, etc. And you've got some calculations on the back end here as well, and any targets that you've got. And then finally, your pipeline, okay? Your pipeline is how you manage what stage a potential customer is in the sales process, okay? So are they a warm lead? Is there a meeting booked? Is there a contract sent? Do they need following up? Have they been closed? And we can drag them through these different stages, okay? So Notion is without a doubt the easiest way and also the cheapest way for you to manage a pipeline efficiently in the early stages of your agency. When you've got a little bit of money behind you, there are better tools out there that you can use to help you manage your pipeline, such as Go High Level. Now, Go High Level, similar to Notion, is an all-in-one platform really focused at helping agency owners increase or improve their sales process, but also their marketing process as well for their clients. So it's kind of two-tiered. You can use it for your own agency to help you manage your sales process better as an all-in-one. And you can also use it for your clients to help convert their leads and get them better results as well, okay? Presuming that you're a lead generation agency and you're going to be working with local brick and mortar businesses, okay? But at the very least, it is a great tool for your agency internally. I'm going to show you an active account right now. So ignore the Just Close logo at the top there. This is Go High Level. We've just white labeled it, so we have our own logo on it. This is our internal white label SaaS version of it. But this is the dashboard. It's going to give you an overview of all of the opportunities that you have right now in your agency, your pipeline value, and actually how many leads you have on your pipeline. The pipeline in Notion is called opportunities, and here we can see we have similar that we just saw on Notion. We've got our pipeline here. So we've got new leads, conversations, ghosting, people that are not responding to us, appointment set, no-shows, etc. We can click on these individual leads and we can go on the notes, and then we can very easily see a historic bit of data on all of the people that we are speaking to. Why is this important? Well, in the early stages, if you're calling up, well, not even the early stages, I keep saying that, but even if you're an established agency owner, if you're calling up 20 companies a day, if you're sending 100 emails a day, how are you possibly going to know what happened yesterday with the leads that you spoke to unless you are documenting it? You need to be documenting this somewhere. You can host all of your contacts. Okay, you can manage your calendar on here. You can manage conversations and emails with people that you're speaking to. You can send invoices straight from Go High Level. And probably the best feature is the website and funnel building functionality. I used to recommend ClickFunnels as a funnel building tool. We don't even use it ourselves anymore. We use Go High Level for it. It's got a great funnel building functionality. A funnel is simply a one-page website, if you wonder what the difference is between the two. Go on templates, you can see there's tens and tens of different templates here. You can use this to create your own agency website, or you can use it to create landing pages and funnels for your clients, okay, when you're running ads for them. Talking of ads, you can go on reporting and you can literally see your Google ads and your Facebook ad reporting straight from the platform. And finally, on marketing, you can schedule out all of your organic posts for your own agency. Now, there are a bunch of other tools that you can use on Go High Level, such as automations, for example. But I don't want to complicate things right now. Maybe if you want me to create a more in-depth video on High Level, I can create one in the future. Drop a comment down below and I will create that for you. But for now, I've got a bunch of other exciting things that I want to show you. Go High Level really is something that you want to graduate to when you've signed up your first client, okay? Use Notion at the start. When you've signed up a client, you've made some money, get Go High Level. It's going to improve your sales process, it's going to improve your ability to get results for your clients, etc. Okay? So, moving on, swiftly on, fittingly, to Lead Swift. So, we've got our kind of operations and our management systems out of the way. How are we going to generate leads? How are we going to find clients? Lead Swift is without a doubt the quickest and easiest way for you to generate literally thousands of local business leads in minutes. Funny, because that's what it says here. Maybe my subconscious mind just read that. So it is a lead generation tool. Simply, you're going to put in, let's for example here, restaurants in New York. It's going to scrape tools like Google or websites like Google, Yelp, Facebook, Yellow Pages, etc. It's going to find a whole bunch of companies in that specific criteria. Now, you will have to go through and qualify those leads, and it's very important if you're using any kind of lead generation software, you still go through and manually qualify those leads. You're going to have to try and find business owners' details for companies that this cannot find business owners' details for. It's still going to take you hours to generate lead lists. Regardless of this, okay, high quality lead lists, okay, those of you that are lazy, you'll be able to go on here, download a bunch of leads, but you're not going to get great results because you're not going out the extra mile to actually qualify the business owner, okay. I've actually recorded a whole video on this tool, so I'm going to put a link in the description. You can go and watch it after this one if you want to check that out. But it's without a doubt the best and the cheapest lead generation tool that you could use right now. It literally costs, what is it? $25 per month, and I've got an affiliate link which gives you another like 20% off or something. You can use that and generate hundreds of thousands of leads for 20 quid. That's a joke. I wish I had this when I first started out. Okay, so we've got a big list of leads. How are we going to reach out to them? Well, email is one of the strategies that we can use. And so what email automation tool are we going to use? Well, we have Instantly as an option. This is a tool that I used for years. It's great. The user experience and the actual UI is really good for beginners. It's very, very easy to use. They've got some great back-end knowledge bases that you can use to learn how to use the tool. I like it a lot, okay? And we actually recently stopped using Instantly though, and that doesn't mean I'm going to stop recommending it to beginners, because I do think it's a great beginner-friendly tool, and the UI is better than other tools out there. But I'd be lying if I said I haven't moved over to something else myself, and that tool is smartlead.ai. Now, SmartLead, we are literally sending out 2,000 emails a day in our agency to new leads, and so we're sending out a huge quantity of emails on a daily basis. We are a 7-figure agency. We are very established. We have the financial means and the team to do so. You don't have to do that when you're first starting out. And when you're running that kind of a volume, SmartLead is the better tool for that because it is more cost effective. but the UI, so the back end and the way it looks, isn't as aesthetically pleasing or as simple and clean as Instantly is, which is why I don't think it is as good as Instantly for beginners. Play around with both of these. They both have free trials. Use whichever one you would prefer. It's ultimately down to you, but I wanted to give you both of those options there. Okay, so what this is going to do for you is automatically send out thousands of emails on a daily basis without you having to do that manually. You will need to create a bunch of burner emails. Typically, as a quick run, I say that you could send 40 emails per day per email account, and you can get away with having 3 emails per domain. Okay, so you do the maths. 1 domain, 3 emails, 40 emails per day per domain, 4, 8, 12, 120 emails per day per domain, as a rule of thumb. Okay, I feel like I'm smashing through these now. Maybe I can go into these in a little bit more detail. Okay, well, whilst we're on outreach, I've got a couple of other outreach tools that I want to show you. And really, I could make this video hours and hours and hours long. Like, the amount of tools that we use in our agency is obscene. Maybe I'll make an extended version in the future. I've already got one inside the academy. There's got to be a few secret tools to the whole back. So this is Expandy. Expandy is a LinkedIn automation outreach tool. Imagine it as the Instantly of LinkedIn. Okay. So you can use it to automatically send LinkedIn messages and LinkedIn requests, and you can use it to create very nice flows. Okay, so here is an example. Okay, so it's going to start, it's going to visit a profile, it's going to wait for 30 minutes. Are you connected with that person? Yes or no? If you are, then like one of their posts and then endorse one of their skills. If you're not, then send them an email, and etc., etc. Okay, so really nice conditional logic flows for how you can reach out on LinkedIn. Now, quickly, just to cut in here, if you're watching this and you're a new start agency and you're looking at this thinking, oh man, like how the hell am I going to figure out these email automation tools? How am I going to figure out LinkedIn automation? You don't need to do that when you are first starting. When you're first starting, I actually recommend you to go out there and manually send emails, manually send LinkedIn messages, manually send Instagram DMs, whatever platform you're choosing based on your ICP, your ideal customer profile. And most importantly, cold call, okay? Software is not an excuse for you to be lazy in your agency. Cold calling is what's going to get you the majority of your meetings when you're first starting out, without a shadow of doubt. No automation software is going to get you the amount of meetings that you can get just by spending 2 hours a day cold calling. Okay, if I had an automation tool for it, I wish I could send it to you. But yeah, that's how you're going to get the majority of meetings, right? Secondary to this, you don't need this when you're first starting, okay, at all. Some of these tools, well, most of these tools, these automation tools, are luxuries that you're only going to adopt when you get more established in your agency. When you're really busy, you're working with clients, you've got a team, and you want to get a large number of messages sent out, an email sent out, without the need of having to do anything manual, and then therefore saving you countless hours every single month. And you've got to take into consideration you're probably not going to be able to afford this in the early stages because it is going to add up. It's going to be, in some cases, $20 up to $100 per month for some of these automation tools. So sign up some clients first and then play around with them later down the line. Okay, getting a little bit more techie for you. I'm giving you the big guns today, guys. This is Phantom Buster. Okay, Phantom Buster is like a directory of different automations, okay, different automation scripts. If we go on solutions here, I'm logged in right now. Go on solutions. These are called phantoms, these scripts, okay? And we go on LinkedIn, for example, seeing as we're just on Expandy. You can use this phantom here to export a LinkedIn search. So if you do a search on LinkedIn, you can use this phantom to literally export a CSV list of everybody on that LinkedIn search. Okay, so it's great for lead generation. If we go on Twitter, you can auto-follow accounts. You can download all the followers from somebody's account. If we go on Google Maps, you can search on Google Maps and then download all of the data from there, and so on. Okay, have a look at this yourself. Instagram, this is great if you're doing Instagram DMs. You can use a hashtag and then download everybody that uses that hashtag, or you can download a list of everybody that follows a certain account. So it's great for lead generation. and sales in general. They've got a bunch of different AI tools that I haven't had the chance to play around with yet, but I would recommend you using or checking out Phantom Buster. It's free to create an account, but you do have to pay for credits to actually run these scripts. So at the very least, you can go out there, check it out, and see how you can save time in the current processes that you've got in your agency. So those are the sales software tools that I had to show you today. Again, there's a bunch more, but yeah, I don't want to blow your mind with too much information. I want to keep it confined to just some of the best things that we're using at the moment. But what about if you actually sign a client, okay, and you've got to run some ad for them? How are you going to create those ads? Because believe me, you can't depend on the client to give you good creative. So the first tool I want to show you is Canva. Canva.com is like the free web version of Photoshop. There is a paid version as well, but you don't really need it when you're first starting out. So you go on here, there's a bunch of different templates. Let's say we want to create an Instagram post. We hit create a blank, and then we have a whole bunch of other templates that we can use, okay? And we can have a look. What do we want? Halloween. Don't know why you want Halloween, but yeah, it just came to my mind. And then we can go on here and we can edit any of the text. We can change the text color, okay, to pink. That's not very Halloween, but hey, there you go, Halloween party, awesome. And then we can change this font to whatever we want, etc. You get the idea, okay? Change the size, move things around. It's drag and drop, okay? It's like being able to use Photoshop if you don't have a clue about how to actually, or you haven't got any graphic design experience whatsoever, okay? So this is essential when you're first starting, okay? If you're creating an ad for clients, you want to take the best imagery that they've got. You want to add a title over the top with the actual offer that what you're trying to put out there, okay? So Botox treatment for one or whatever, you know, like whatever offer you're running for your clients, you're going to be putting that over the image, and then therefore you're going to go and share, and you're going to download that image and use it for your creative. So Canva is just the best online tool for creating great imagery with a bunch of templates if you don't have graphic design experience. What about if we're not going with imagery though? What about if we need to create a video? Well, you've seen me talk about this before on my channel. We don't use InVideo as much anymore. We have in-house editors. But we used to use InVideo.io, and I know hundreds of different agencies that use InVideo.io. It's an incredible tool, and I recommend it to absolutely everybody. Again, for those of you that don't have video editing experience. If you do have video editing experience, of course, something like Final Cut or Premiere Pro, they're always going to be superior tools. But for so many of you watching this, you won't have that experience, and so a tool like InVideo is invaluable for so many of you, okay? It's a simple timeline functionality which will be familiar to you if you've ever played around with editing tools at all before, and it has literally 5,000 plus templates that you can use, again, in Facebook format, in TikTok format, in Instagram story format. Literally, this is the video version of Canva. Canva do have their own video version, but it's not as good as InVideo. You also get access to literally millions of stock imagery from various different stock websites, iStock, Storyblocks, Shutterstock, etc., with their pro version, and this costs hundreds on a monthly basis if you are signed up to these stock imagery websites. But with InVideo, it's like as little as £20, which is pretty incredible. I don't actually know what they're charging at the moment. £15 per month, $15 per month. That's incredible, and you get access to all that stock imagery, etc. Pretty cool. Nice. So check out InVideo. Again, this is going to be essential when you're creating ads for clients. You want to make sure that you've got high quality creative and you're not just relying on what the client sends over to you. Okay, so we've created some really nice creatives. How are we then going to track our ads? Well, if you're a lead generation agency, you're going to track your ads using something like Go High Level, okay? That is how you are going to see the leads that are coming through in the pipeline. You might do a bit of appointment setting there as well and actually call up those leads. Okay, but what about if you're an e-commerce agency? What about if you work with e-commerce brands? Well, it is a non-negotiable that you use Triple Whale with your clients, okay? Now, at the start of 2020, we had something called iOS 14 come along. You may have heard of it. It's kind of dying down in the ecosystem now, the talk of it. But it turned tracking on its head. It enabled people to be able to choose whether they wanted their data to be tracked or used when they are using an iPhone, for example. Now, Triple Whale kind of bypasses this. They have their own inbuilt pixel, okay, so their own version of the Facebook pixel, which allows you to track data and the behaviors of customers when they are on a Shopify website. We will not work with a company unless they are using Triple Whale in our agency. We flat out refuse to work with a brand unless they are using Triple Whale because we trust their metrics that much. You can see here in a little preview, this would be like Facebook's ROAS or tracked ROAS, and then here we've got kind of Triple Whale's tracked ROAS there as well, and any kind of overlap between different platforms that you're advertising on. It consolidates all of the advertising platforms, so you could be advertising on Facebook, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Instagram, whatever, and it will consolidate all of that data. You can see the overlap, etc. It makes reporting incredibly easy, and it also just improves your ability to be able to scale your ads. Okay, if you're not using Triple Whale, you're just blind when it comes to advertising e-commerce brands, and so it's an absolutely essential tool for you to use. Okay, so that is some service delivery stuff out of the way. Let's move on to some more personal kind of management or like team management and so on. Actually, before we do that, I want to show you Calendly quickly. Many of you will already be using Calendly, but this is a non-negotiable. When you're established, in the early stages, you're going to be using something like Google Calendar to manage your time. You're going to be able to schedule potential clients into meetings on Google Calendar, and you're going to be able to do that manually pretty easily. When you start using automation tools like Instantly, like Expandy, when you're booking multiple meetings on a weekly basis, you're not going to want to be sending those invitations manually. You're also not going to be able to you're not going to want to manage your calendar manually. Calendly is an online scheduling tool which synced up with all of your calendars, and it enables you to send over custom links to leads, and they can then go and pick a time that suits them. Okay, if any of you have ever booked a call with us to join the Affluent Academy, you'll have already gone through this process. You look what day we have available, you choose the time, you fill in your details, and you're scheduled straight onto the calendar. This is also great for when you have a sales team. It'll automatically allocate calls to individual sales team members. It's essential. There are other alternatives out there. I have used them. Calendly is my favorite. Again, not something that you need until you're more established and you're getting multiple meetings on a weekly basis, but nonetheless, something that you will need at some point. Now, talking to scale, when you get team members and you're virtual, as so many of us are, and actually just as a little interlude here, when you're an agency owner, you're going to have the decision, and you're going to come to a crossroad when you're hiring. Do I keep things in-house and not in-house, in person? And do I build a local business where I'm going to have an office and we're all going to go to that office? There are pros and cons to that. Actually, if you want me to create a video on this, and I can do so, drop a comment down below. Or do I want to be a virtual company? Do I want to be able to work from anywhere in the world? Do I want to be able to work in my office and not be looked at or shunned at for the fact that I'm not in the office and everybody else is? Okay, if you're a virtual company, it is essential though, you are tracking people's time. In the early stages, we like to do this during probational periods, but after that, you don't really have to track someone's time. And so when someone is on probation, you want to make sure that they're actually doing the work. This is for two reasons. Number one, so they're not fudging their numbers and just pretending they're working. And number two, so you can quantify exactly the outputs you should expect from that role. So if you're hiring somebody who's going to be cold calling in your agency, you want to be able to track their time so you know in 8 hours they can make X amount of calls, so you can create an SOP on your Notion database for the next person that you hire in cold calling and create KPIs based on what you know is actually possible in a certain time period within that role. Okay, so for that, we use Time Doctor. TimeDoctor.com. And once it's downloaded, it automatically runs on a user's computer. And what it does is it tracks the time that they are spending on individual tasks. Now, in the early stages, you will want your team members selecting what tasks they are working on, so you can actually quantify what individual tasks are taking them the most money. But broadly speaking, you can use it to track absolutely any kind of work that they're doing at the moment. Okay, so it'll take screenshots in interludes, okay, in different time periods. It will take screenshots of what the team member is actually working on, so you can keep track of it. So at a quick glance, once a week, you can have a look at every single team member and see who is working the hours that they're meant to and who is actually procrastinating or watching YouTube videos in the day. So that is Time Doctor. And when you've got a team, it's essential that you have great client communication. I might have bit off more than we could chew. Shot off more, I don't know what I'm talking about. By going through so many tools today. Again, I literally had to whittle this list down from 30 potential tools down to the ones that we have right now. But hey ho, let's smash through it. Feels like we're going through a lot. Slack.com. Slack is the tool we use for communications. This is team communications, okay? And this is, again, essential when you are established. You could use something like Discord if you want to. I don't think Discord is as good as Slack for professional conversation management. You have individual channels, so you might have agency client results, you might have agency sales, you might have general chat where you're just having back and forth conversation, but it's a crucial tool for managing conversations with your team members. You keep everything in one place. The last thing you want to do when you're building a virtual company is have somebody speak to you on WhatsApp, somebody speak to you on SMS, somebody speak to you on Facebook. You want to consolidate all of that communication, keep it all in one place. And you're going to thank yourself. It's going to be a lot easier to manage your time. You're going to be a hell of a lot more productive. So Slack is an essential tool for that. The final one I want to touch on today is Zapier. Zapier is there's so many different things that you can do this. It's an all-in-one automation tool. And the simplest way to explain it is Zapier marries up two different softwares. Okay, so let's say you want Facebook to send lead data, you've generated some leads on Facebook, you want it to send that data onto a Google Sheet. You can create a Zap for that. Well, what about if then you want to go a step further? And let's see if there's a little a diagram to give you a little bit of context on this here. Okay, this will help. So let's say we've generated a lead on Facebook. Well, we want to send that lead, okay, so ignore this one for now, over to a Google Sheet CSV. But what about if we want to notify the team? Okay, we want to send them a message to say, we've got a new lead, call them, so we can call them as quickly as possible. Well, we can then on the same Zap, which is an automation, then send a message on Slack to let the team know that we just generated a new lead. And then we can even go a step further and add them to an email list. Okay, these Zaps can be as long as you want. These automations can be as complex as you wish. I literally have over 100 Zap automations set up active for our agency right now, from onboarding to forms filling in information all the way through to automatic sales call feedback. Okay, I literally have a Zap that sends sales call recordings from our sales team over to a tool called Descript, which is an AI transcription tool. Takes that transcription, sends it over to ChatGPT, and with a specific ChatGPT prompt, it then provides feedback, sales feedback, to the sales guys back on Slack about their call and how it went and how they can improve it for next time. You can get as granular with this stuff as you want. And of course, you're not going to be doing this right at the start of your agency. Your priority is, of course, going to be going out there and signing up clients. But these are tools that are going to be essential as you progress in the business. And as you get more established, you're going to be looking for how you can save time. Broadly speaking, if there is a task that you have to do every single day or every single week or every single month, the chances are very high that you can automate that task. And so what I do internally is every single month, I host a time audit. And I write down all of the tasks that I've been working on over the course of a 1 week period. What are all the tasks that I've been working on a daily basis? And I look at which of those tasks I can either delegate, so create an SOP for it on our Notion database, send it to a team member so they can take that task away from me every month, or I can automate it through something like Zapier, okay? So I can use software to automate that process so I no longer have to spend any time doing it anymore. And it's important to do this every single month. You'll be surprised how quick your calendar can get stacked with tasks that you can either delegate or automate. Time efficiency becomes incredibly important with every single step of growth within your agency. So guys, go out there, get stuck in. Let me know some of the best tools that you're using right now that I haven't mentioned right now. Drop a comment down below and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers.